this morning, I want to think through something that you may be struggling with right now. I saw a couple posts. Some people actually asked a question, a pretty specific question. Why is everything so political right now? It's actually a really good question. Think about it. Why is everything so freaking political, man? Like, why are all these voices popping up? Why is stuff happening that seems to be all about the election of 2020? Well, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but you can't get sick without it being political. You can't watch TV and watch sports without it being political. You can't even go to work, have a job. You can't even fly a flag and it's all of a sudden political. You can't, everything's political. Do you know why? Let me tell you why. The reason why it's all political is because it was made that way. Where a lot of people are kind of denying the truth about is the existence of a cultural revolution happening within the United States. Now, this might sound far-fetched to you. It might sound ridiculous to you. But I want you to ask a couple questions of yourself because you want your normal life back. Everybody just wants things to be normal. Who's keeping it from being normal? Who's making everything political? Who's showing out on the TV shows? Who's made Orange Man so bad? Why is Orange Man so bad? Who is pushing that idea onto the public? Was that the mainstream media? Was it the actors? Was it the actresses? Was it the athletes? Was it these people that were saying so much because they wanted to inject politics into the everyday aspects of American life? That's actually what you're facing. It's actually what you're having an issue with. See, when everyone was making their points politically, they were pointing to one person, but they were ignoring that they actually were the ones pushing their ideas on everybody else. Even in the Christian realm, you're a good Christian if you're against, but you're a bad Christian if you're for. This is what it means to be in a cultural revolution, and this is actually why I've said so many times, if you don't know cultural Marxism or liberation theology, you will not understand what's going on. And you'll just think that Donald Trump did something bad, so everybody's got to react and be against him. But in reality, what Donald Trump was, he exposed something. And not everybody was willing to see it. Not everybody's willing to actually just ask the question, well, what if he's not lying? What if there's something else here that he's pointing to that we may need to, as a society, look at? And that's what I did. That's actually what several people did. Some of your friends, some of your family, some of y'all are doing it right now. Some of y'all are going on DuckDuckGo and you're looking up, what the heck is a cultural revolution and where did that actually come from? You should know that, okay? You should know where cultural revolutions come from. You should also ask a question, okay? Why did the NBA not support the Hong Kong protesters? Why did LeBron James have so much to say about American democracy? Why? Why did Nike also do the same thing as well? Ask the questions because you'll find the answer. And you don't, see, I'm telling you, some of you don't want to know the answers. If you don't want to know the answer, don't ask the question of why is everything so political? I have a feeling right now because of the way this man has been attacked. This is part of the thing that's actually happened. For him to have been so evil, so much of a dictator, so much of a whatever, so much of a racist, whatever, okay? There's been something that people have really failed to recognize with Donald Trump. They failed to recognize that he'll bring the fight. And this is what has been hard for Christians. Christians right now that are being told that you need to not speak into culture. There's people like me and other people who are bringing the fight. And they're not shutting up and they're posting things that make people uncomfortable because without knowing it, you were made uncomfortable. You were told that you couldn't do things that you wanted to do in your life because of pandemic. And everybody said the church shouldn't be speaking into culture, but the moment that culture could speak into the church and shut the church down any way that they felt like they did, that's the truth. So So for all the people that were saying, don't be speaking your politics, don't be speaking your societal stuff, you as a Christian just need to lead a quiet life like it says in Romans. You need to do that and we'll take advantage of you. Well, this is what happened. They did. They did with a smile on their face, because they knew that there's a group of people who would not stand up, they would not say anything. And now that there are folks like me who say something, now we're being called all types of stuff. We're not abided by the narrative. So while you ask the question, you need to ask another question. What if this is all being politicized because some people want to hide something? Some people don't want information being out, and some people will do all that they can to blame one orange bad man for everything in society. Dude's been in politics for 3 years, and now he's trying to blame everything on him, including COVID, including the issues with the black neighborhoods, including the issues with racism, including the issues with COVID, all this stuff, right? Orange man bad. Just ask the question, what if I'm not being told the truth? And what if there's a bigger narrative here that everybody's telling me to pay attention to while they're slyly doing something else on the side? It's happening right in front of your face. You are living in the middle of a cultural revolution, and it's probably freaking you out, and you need to know who the players are, what they believe, and why they believe it. What it means to have political power over others. If you right now are so used to going to the store, going to your friends and neighbors' houses, driving where you wanted to drive, being in community and stuff, now all of a sudden it's regulated. Now all of a sudden you can't because someone's told you that you can't. You're a bad person for wanting to go to a funeral. But the folks who can exempt themselves, they do what they want. You need to understand that that's how it actually works. And the people who have the power can dictate the power onto others, but then negate their own rules. You have to understand what that actually is. That's totalitarianism, using fascism and Marxism against its own people. You need to understand that. And ask the question again, why is it everything's political? It's because they've made it that way, and you're living in the middle of it. And remember, the folks on the couch, they're all asking the same question because they see the same results. These folks and these people who are saying and doing these things are very unhealthy, and they're willing to destroy everything so they can get power. Everything, including your family, your friends, your relationships. Those folks on the TV, they are far outnumbered by people like you and me on the couch, but we have to be willing and have courage to stand up and say something. Have a great morning.